using words they hear as far as like firearms training if they're law enforcement, or awkward working positions if they're firefighters, or air management for the packs on their backs. But the secret sauce is actually that from day one, we've worked with licensed psychologists and clinical social workers. And so we actually introduce a bit of cognitive behavioral therapy into our yoga classes. And so we know that the breath affects the brain waves and the physiology, but so do our thoughts. Like our thoughts, if we start to think about the ruminative thoughts of a bad experience in the past, it's going to pull our physiology along with it. And we all know this. Like if you start to think about, oh my God, this test I have tomorrow, or what are my kids doing at school, or they're getting in trouble, or things like that, like you can feel your heart rate go up, you can feel your breath shorten. We know that our mind directs our physiology. And so what we do in our classes is while we have them in a stress-induced state, we start to coach them that this is a challenge and not a threat. And those two words are very, very critical and very, very specific because they actually change the neurobiology. They literally change the neurochemistry that's happening inside of our body. So our body will default to a threat response because that's our survival mechanism, which actually shows indices of post-traumatic stress. But if we can change that same perception of the moment to a challenge response, like I'm going to rise to the occasion, or I'm going to meet this head on as a challenge and not as a threat. And remember, threat is the default, so it does take conscious thought. Then research actually shows that we can increase a neurosteroid called DHEA and therefore shift the needle towards post-traumatic growth.
Wow.
Truly that simple. And
Yeah.
so and so that's what we do. So while they're under stress, we rewire the brain to think of stress as a challenge and not a thought. We teach them to breathe properly rather than get activated with their breathing. And so that's where we become a preventative tool. And that's why I called this episode the way it is. We've done clinical research on that protocol specifically. It's in the American Psychology.